Hello everybody, welcome back to Kindred Spirits on the Roof. Last time we spent the entire episode with Yoka and we got to learn a little more about her and how she met the girl on the disciplinary committee and how she fell in love and what was going through her head when she talked to Yuna on Camilla Lane that night and Yuna totally destroyed her song lyrics. So it was all a lot of fun. But now the month of June is over and man, a lot went down that month. So here we are. We're going to start July on the 2nd. And we're going to begin with a little interlude from Megumi. The rainy season should be over soon. There are still rainy days, but I don't even care. The midsummer sun is already shining down on me. That's how I feel.
それでね、その日はずっとサチさんに膝枕してもらったの。でね、次の日は一日中学校デートしてね。ずーっと手をつないでいたのよ。
Oh, Sachi-san is just so wonderful. I love her so much. I had spent June in a bit of a There's that word again that I cannot pronounce for the life of me. Melancholic. I had spent June in a bit of a melancholic mood. Apologies for that, y'all. But that was all blown away on that last Friday because my beloved Sachi-san remembered our anniversary and she got me a present too. I had thought Sachi-san might be neglecting me a little since Yuna showed up. But that wasn't true at all. I'm just so happy. Yes, I love that Yuna's continuing to be Megumi's confidant in all of this. Yeah, come on, Yuna, show a little enthusiasm.
ずっとそればっかじゃない。いい加減聞き飽きたの。あら、私は何時間でも話せるわよ。せっかく私の幸せのお裾分けしてあげてるのに。
Yeah, that's what friends do. Now you guys are friends, right?
もうお腹いっぱいなのよ。
Right? Because there's now Megumi knows that Yuna's not a threat, so now they can be friends. Aww.
そんなこと言わないで、もっと聞いてよ。
I flew over like I was jumping into Yuna's shoulders and told her intently of my happiness. I'm thankful to you too a little, you know, Yuna. You made me cupcakes after all. I don't know what they tasted like, but it was a delicious feeling receiving them. Yuna had finished eating lunch a bit early today and was on her way to the library. Some book she borrowed was due back today or something. And I just need to talk to someone about the wonderful time I'd spent with Sachi-san since Friday. Though, Yuna was my only option, so that's why I was following her. No, Megumi, you like Yuna. You think she's a cool person.
それでね、雲見櫓に行った時、サチさんがね。それ、さっきも聞いた気がするのよ。あ、そうだっけ？でももう一回聞いてよ。勘弁してよ。いや、でね、サチさんね、私のこと可愛いって何度も言ってくれるのよ。はいはい。
It's pretty cute. I like that we're seeing them interact more.
サチさんってなんであんなにかっこいいのかな。優しくて美人で大人っぽくて。
And to not have them bickering too. It's a nice change of pace, even though I really do enjoy the bickering. And Yuna's reactions here are pretty good and spot on for a character. But I like that Megumi's deciding that Yuna's more than just someone to prod and pick on.
あ、ユナ、言っとくけど、サチさんのことを好きになったらダメだからね。
Or I spoke a little too soon on that.
でも、サチさんのかっこよさを認めるのはいいわよ。めぐみの素敵な恋人をね。お願い、もういい加減にして。
Poor Yuna.
いいじゃない。 もうちょっとだけだからさ。図書室では静かにしないと怒られるわよ。どうせ私の声が聞こえる人なんていないもの。私には聞こえてるんだ。もうどこまでついてくる気なの。サチさんの素晴らしさを語り尽くすまでよ。私、本の返却で図書室に来てるのよ。あなたのおしゃべりを聞くためじゃん。別に返却の邪魔したりしないわよ。図書室ってこんな風になってるんだ。私来たことなかったから。
Huh? Wait a second. Something is strange here. Yuna and I both went silent at the same time, turning to face each other. Our faces both said we'd noticed something odd.
ここ図書室？
It's the first time I've been here. There were bookshelves lined up, reaching to the ceiling, packed with books with all sorts of different spines. There were desks between the bookshelves and people reading at them in the time before afternoon classes. So this is the library, on the first floor of the inner building. I'd never been in the library when I was alive. No, I hadn't even been to the inner building. That's why I couldn't go into the inner building after becoming a ghost, but... Oh yeah, that's right. Huh, interesting. It looks like Yuna's noticed the same thing. But I'm in the library right now. We arrived here at some point while I was talking to Yuna. I hadn't noticed at all since I'd been talking to her the whole time, clinging to her like I still was. Until now, I'd never been able to get into the inner building no matter what I tried. How come I can suddenly get into it now? Even when I thought about it, I couldn't find an answer. I remained clinging to Yuna as we stared at each other, finding myself a little scared to let go. Yeah, that's weird. Why? What happened between now and between now and who knows, to be fair. But what has happened that has made Megumi able to enter the library? Wait, how is it hard to walk? I mean, this picture we have, like Megumi's got her arms around Yuna's neck and is kind of like floating behind her, but Yuna can't like feel her because there's no weight to Megumi, right? So I imagine if Yuna just walks, then like she would just pass through Megumi's hands, but maybe she's trying to be considerate and like keep her hands around her neck. I don't know. What? Pull? I know I've got a grip on her, but I'm squeezing her tight because I don't want her to go off somewhere without me. But I'm a ghost. I'm supposed to go right through Yuna when I try to stop her. Oh no, oh god. How come I can suddenly hold on to her like this? Yeah, my question exactly. So I guess there's a reason, huh? Perhaps the same reason why she can now come into the library. But that's weird. Why would a ghost like be gaining more physical sensation? It was a sensation I hadn't felt in a long time. A sweet flavor. Whoa. Are they like sharing a body right now or something? Like, is Megumi like possessing Yuna unknowingly? I don't know, but... We looked at each other again. How many times had we done it now?
どうしてユナの舐めてる飴の味がわかるの？こっちが聞きたいわ。どういうこと？
At this point, I was starting to realize exactly what was happening. I was figuring it out without knowing the reason or method or anything like that. I wonder why. Maybe because I'm a ghost. That's the feeling I get.
私、ユナに取り付いているんだね。
Yeah, no, that's what it seems like. Possession. That could make things really tricky. Not tricky, but interesting. Oh, Megumi and Yuna-san, what is it? Have you finished your errand, Yuna-san? We finished returning Yuna's book, and then I went back up to the roof, pulling Yuna along as she protested. That could be quite the sight, because could you just imagine like some invisible force like pulling you? That might be quite the sight. You might be attracting some attention there, Megumi. Not like you care because no one can see you. Or can people see you now? Something's going on. I get it, so stop trying to get me to go over there. I'm possessing Yuna right now. I pulled Yuna all the way back here. Huh? You possessed her? I can do it when I stick really close to Yuna like this, when I'm possessing her. Stop, don't go any farther. The fence is right there. I can control Yuna a little bit, right, Yuna? I'm sure Yuna loves this. And Megumi's like, oh, new ways to tease her. Yeah, Megumi might be a little bit, might be enjoying this a little too much. At least for Yuna's comfort. To me, it's entertaining. I hurried Yuna's hand into her pocket. See, it's there. I could feel it rolling around in there. Sheesh. Oh, it's so sweet. See, I can taste the candy Yuna's eating. Isn't it amazing, Sachi-san? Yes. If I'm possessing her like this, I can even go to the inner building. Now I can go all sorts of places. I can control you all I want, Yuna. I know, it's almost like it's better than cursing. It might be better than cursing. Just so you know, if you possess me like that, it'll be me who curses you. Yeah, but Yuna doesn't back down. That's what I love. She's not afraid. In the end, Sachi-san and I discussed it with Yuna, and I made some promises, like not to possess her too much, or possess anyone other than Yuna. But it sounds like Yuna is willing to cooperate when it's necessary. When is it ever gonna be necessary for you to possess Yuna? I just have to know. I never thought I'd be able to do something like this. Everything really is changing now that Yuna's here. I wonder if we'll be able to make Sachi-san's wish come true before long. When that happens, will I be able to go with her? I don't know where, but if Sachi-san's going, I'll follow her anywhere. I'll be with Sachi-san forever. I decided that long ago. That was interesting. Possession. I wonder why that's happened though, you know? Like, what has happened that has made her able to possess Yuna all of a sudden? July has started, and the rainy season will be over soon. It's like the real beginning of summer, and it's looking like it's going to be another hot one. I get that feeling from the energy of the Kindred Spirits, too. Let's do our best again this month, Sachi-san. Yes, let's. First, Megumi. I have no idea how, but yesterday she suddenly developed the ability to possess people. Naturally, I was her first victim. Well, do we know that Megumi can possess people, or is she just only able to possess Yuna? Because They kind of jump to that conclusion, but we never see Megumi test it. I guess we'll find out. I guess it's a pretty ghostly thing to be able to possess people like that, but because she suddenly gained a new ability, she seems to be brimming with energy. That's how our usual lunchtime meeting began today. So Maki-san and Aihara-senpai haven't been going to their hideout? Yes, I didn't see them there once last week. It could just be coincidence, of course. I bet something happened. A week, huh? Sachi-san said they were going there something like 3 times a week up until now. It could be that they've just been a little busy this last week. I want to hear what they've been talking about now that I can get to the inner building. You can only get there by possessing someone though, right? What are you gonna do? Make me spy on them? Oh, right. That is pretty inconvenient, huh? Yes, but Megumi, remember what you said to Yuna back on that day when you first confided in her? Yes, you make Yuna spy on her. She is convenient. It's an awful way to view another human being, but it's totally in Megumi's personality. Maki-chan and Miki-chan are still working together after school every day. That hasn't changed, but there's something different about them now. Is there? Yes, they're both, well, Maki-chan in particular seems somehow reserved towards Miki-chan. It seems like she's trying to keep some distance. Perhaps something really has happened. Could be. Maybe we should look into it. Right. Like asking Aihara-senpai about it, or asking Hina about how Maki-san's been lately? Speaking of distance, the same could be said for Tsukio-sensei and Kiri-chan. They might be the bigger problem. Sono-sensei and Tsurugamini-san. After our game of tag the other day, we finally managed to get the two of them to talk to each other, but that was such an awful thing for Sono-chan to say. How could she? Oh, so Megumi heard. Yes, I agree, Megumi. It was really not that great of a thing to tell another person. Yes, I do feel a little sorry for Kiri-chan. The two kindred spirits who had heard the whole conversation between Sono-sensei and Tsurugamini-san seemed pretty angry at Sono-sensei, and for good reason. But now, like, what's the point? Are you guys gonna still try to hook him up or what? Tsurugamini-san confessed to Sono-sensei apparently, but Sono-sensei cautioned her that it was only a misunderstanding. That even if she feels that way now, her feelings will change in the future. Sachi-san and Megumi were not forgiving of her words. I'm not sure Sono-sensei's words were necessarily untrue, though. Maybe, but still. Especially Megumi. She found Sono-sensei's words all the more unforgivable since she'd been in the math club room with them and heard them directly. Instead of giving Kiri-san an answer to her confession, she said all that self-important stuff and just dodged the whole issue. That's the same as just ignoring Kiri-san's feelings, isn't it? Oh wait, that's what you're concerned about? I was more concerned about the fact that Sono-sensei seemed to imply that Tsurugamini was going through a phase. Surely you two are going to address that, right? Sachi-san also seemed to be angry in her own low-key way. She usually tries to rein in Megumi when she starts to get too heated. Sachi-san, you said before you didn't really care what answers these couples came to, didn't you? Ah, yes, Yuna. The question I wanted to ask. Thank you for asking. Perhaps, but I do want things to work out between them too. And like Megumi said, I don't think Tsukio-sensei's really given her an answer yet. Yeah, I guess it is interesting that they're looking at this that Sachi and Megumi are looking at it from a perspective of, oh, Sono-sensei dodged the question, which implies that there's a reason why she dodged the question, and she might be hiding something, so. It If she doesn't see Kiri-chan as a possible romantic interest, then I would have liked her to say so. If she would never be able to love Kiri-chan, she should have said that too. She should have made her own feelings clear to Kiri-chan before rebuking her for hers. Sono-chan's especially insistent on the whole "call me sensei" thing with Kiri-san now. Kiri-san doesn't deserve all this. It's likely because of what she said to Kiri-chan about her role as a teacher. I won't let it end like this. We've got to get Sono-chan to make things clear. Yes, I believe that would be for the best. You think so? Of course we do, and I'm sure Sono-chan doesn't hate Kiri-san. Yes, I don't think Kiri-chan's feelings are a misunderstanding either, and I'd like her to realize that. I won't be satisfied just making her realize how serious Kiri-san is. We'll get her to fall in love with Kiri-san while we're at it. Oh boy, back to that strong-arming. We need to show off Kiri-san's charm. Again, how? They're already the sole member of the math club and its advisor, right? Shouldn't they already know each other pretty well? Oh, you don't know anything, Yuna. Charm is something kept hidden. For airheads, Sono-chan will realize how wonderful Kiri-san is if we just show her a side of Kiri-san she doesn't normally see. But how would we do that? Indeed. Say, Yuna-san, did you know there's a place in the school where girls look particularly lovely? Huh? A place that makes girls look nice? Nice is not quite the same as particularly lovely, Yuna. Just saying. Where would that be? I didn't know there was a place like that. Actually, I'm not really convinced. Oh, I know, there is. There totally is. Yeah, it's that place. There's this landing in the Hoshikan building where the sun really shines in the morning. Any girl standing there would just sparkle. Right, and the tatami room at sunset is wonderful too. Then there's the roof on a sunny day. Yes, Tsukio-sensei is sure to see Kiri-chan's charm if she sees her in those places. You know, I expected Megumi to want to really strong-arm Sono-sensei into liking Kiri, but Sachi, you said you didn't care what happened. And I understand wanting Sono-sensei to be clear about her feelings because, yeah, being vague, that leads to misunderstanding. That leads to doubting, to longing. So you need a clear answer. But now it's like Sachi-san's getting on the whole, like, we need to show off Kiri-chan's charm bandwagon. And I'd expect better from you, Sachi-san. I'd expect better from you. Okay, it's decided. Got it, Yuna? You've got to lead Kiri-san to those places, then get Sono-chan to meet her there. What? Do you really think that's going to be easy? We're doing it even if it's hard. She won't be able to say it was a misunderstanding when she sees Kiri-san there. Yes, let's try it. We'll call it Operation Sparkling Sunshine Kiri-chan. Oh, that sounds wonderful. Does it, though? Sometimes I don't really get Sachi-san's tastes. Yeah, you and me both, Yuna. Why do I feel like I'm suddenly in an old school YA novel? This whole game feels like an old school YA novel. No, that's not true. This game has way better character development, but I like the reference. Oh? What's a YA novel? Huh? Oh, it stands for young adult. How should I put it? I guess it's just any fiction for people around our age. I see. What sort of novels are they? What sort? Well, there's all kinds. Like fantasy and sci-fi. Lots of different genres. Fantasy? Oh, like mystery novels. Right. There are romance ones too, like shoujo manga, but novels. There's all sorts of other stuff, but I guess we don't really need to get into that right now. I've only read what Anno's lent me anyway. Huh, that sounds interesting. I'd like to read one sometime. Well, maybe later. I don't have all that many myself. I see. I'm looking forward to it then. I've read some too, Sachi-san, like Cobalt novels. Oh, I could go to the library and check one out. You mean you could get Yuna to go to the library and check one out for you? You mean I could, right? Yeah, exactly. Sheesh, she's totally getting carried away. Is this really that exciting? Then the only ones left are Sasa-chan and Umi-chan. I don't think these two have any particular problems right now. Yoko-chan and Aki-chan too. At this point, I don't feel like pointing out that it could be a problem that they're both girls anymore. Yeah, Yuna, that argument does not work. You definitely know better at this point. I was really surprised when they told me about Yoka though. An old classmate I just met again. And it was really like meeting her all over. I was surprised by how much she changed. She showed me her love rock lyrics or whatever, which were their own kind of unbelievable. And then later I learned that she's in love with another woman. All this has just kind of numbed me. Like, no problems? Nope, I don't see any problems. Right, we can worry about it when something happens with them. First, we should focus on finding out what's going on with Maki-san and Aihara-senpai, and then Tsurugamini-san. Operation Sparkling Sunshine. Right, that. I'll think of some things for that assignment. Well, I suppose it all depends on leading them both to those locations. We'll tell you if Sono-chan and Kiri-san are nearby. Alright, good. I'm the one who has to do the work, though. I might be able to stop Tsurugamini-san and wait for Sono-sensei to pass by? I guess I won't know until I try it. I think we'll just have to get lucky when they're already nearby. My head feels hot just thinking about this. Actually, the sun's beating down pretty hard up there, and the temperature's pretty high too. I guess summer really has begun. Come to think of it, summer vacation is coming soon, isn't it? Yeah. And during summer vacation you have the summer camp. There is something like that, isn't there? Summer camp. People will be talking about it in class pretty soon. I read that line like Sachi, and it was Yuna's thoughts. That's why it sounded a little weird. The school has a building next to the auditorium called the Kumo Miyagura, a relic from the days when the school was a castle. I think I talked about this before, but I love historic buildings that get like converted and renovated for or rehabilitated, I think is the technical term for modern day use. It's so cool. That building looked really pretty too. Will you participate in the summer camp, Yuna-san? I wasn't planning to, but once summer vacation starts, I don't think I'll need to come to school until classes start again. Summer camp, huh? The broadcasting club trio might participate. Tsurugamini-san and Sono-sensei might with the math club, too. Do you think I should? Well, if it's not too much trouble, would you? We'd be lonely if we couldn't see you during summer vacation. I won't be lonely if I'm with Sachi-san. Were you just planning on staying home all vacation, Yuna? I wouldn't be inside the whole time, and I do have a life, you know. However, I think you have to apply in a group if you're participating in the summer camp without a club. Oh, do you? Perhaps you could ask one of your friends, such as Ano-chan or Hina-chan. Hina will be going with the track team, and Ano is at a relative's house during the camp. She also seems to take part in Comic Cat. She was saying something like, "We're going on an expedition again this year." And you don't have any other friends. Oh, that's so mean. God, Megumi. I think if Yuna really wanted to get her, she could be like, "You're my friend, aren't you, Megumi? We share secrets now, and now I let you possess me every once in a while." Oh, what do you care? Well, I could show up at school at least. Maybe to bring Hina snacks during camp. That's about all I can think of right now, though. You don't need to trouble yourself for our sake. We would appreciate your visits, of course. Right, well, I might be able to stop by a few times. Don't forget to bring us some treats. Yeah. Yes, more treats they can't eat, and Yuna will take home and sacrifice at an altar. That line was pretty funny. I really liked it. And I liked also that Sachi didn't get the joke. Oh man, we don't do anything exciting for the whole rest of the week. Alright, back to Monday. Summer Lilies. Part 3. So what I'm saying is, Yuri doesn't necessarily mean lesbians, you know? Oh, Ano. The classroom after school, there wasn't anything pressing. Maki-san and Aihara-san are the same as usual. I go and check on them sometimes. They do seem a little distant lately, but I don't know why. I haven't been finding many opportunities to put our plan with Surigamini-san in motion. Since I have some time on my hands, I'm staying behind in the classroom to chat about trivial things with Ano. Or, that's what I thought we were gonna do, but... Why am I getting a lecture on Yuri from Ano right now? Yeah, I don't see Yuna bringing this up in conversation or like anything relating to Yuri up in conversation. So why did Ano bring it up is how I wonder. How did this happen? Weren't we talking about classes and whether we want to get together to study before finals? I think 2 close girls holding hands while walking together is splendid Yuri already. In my business, you see, there's a deep dark river that runs between Yuri and lesbians. Of course, there are people who can cross over, too. Yeah, Ano as a character just does not appeal to me. And maybe I'm biased because she seems to have, like, no social consciousness when it comes to homosexuality, but... yeah. How did that turn into this conversation? I can't remember anymore, and yeah, I don't really care. But what Ano's talking about right now, I'm a bit too involved in lately to totally ignore. Of course, Yuri is fiction. It's fun because it's fiction. Actually, I'm having some non-fiction issues in that area. Well, it's just make-believe. You do that sometimes, right, Yuna? I don't think so. Just think about it a little. Come on. Oh, like... who do you think is more your type? Me or Hina-chan? Try thinking from there a little. Oh god, okay. Oh jeez. I totally approve where this conversation is going right now. What? Okay, save. Let's save this. Now, I'm really sad I have to make this decision because both choices sound like they're going to be hilarious. But I do prefer Hina as a character to Ano. Ano's forgetful, and she has a really not great stance on homosexuality. A very naive stance, I'll say. Because I don't think it's hateful, but it's naive. Which provides a nice commentary on Yuri and homosexuality, or specifically, involving women. So I appreciate her from a storytelling point of view, but not as a person. Hina, on the other hand, I do like, and I like her more, and I kind of think Yuna, if I do say so myself, Yuna has been dropping hints that she might like Hina too. So I'm gonna go with the obvious answer here. Hina, maybe? The true route, eh? You and Hina-chan really suit each other after all. I don't know how much we suit each other, but we have known each other since we were little. It's just natural for us to be together. A love born through time, eh? Love? it's nothing like that. Oh, and Yuna's blushing again. Oh, you're adorable, Yuna. So who's the Tachi then? Who's the Neko? Normally Yuna would be the Tachi, right? I guess you could be switches. I'm not familiar with that terminology. Tachi and Neko, is that like... Because in yaoi, I know you have the two terms that I can't remember them. Though, what is it? Uke and Seme, I think, if I'm even pronouncing those right. So is this like the Yuri version? And why? And what do they mean? I don't know. Explain yourself, Ano. Sorry. I have no idea what you're talking about, Ano. Oh, sorry. I guess switch is a bit technical. No, switch is the one term I do get. Stop it. I didn't get the stuff before that either. Don't look at me like you're looking at a huge dork. Oh, Ano, you are a huge dork. There's nothing wrong with being a huge dork. Being a huge dork is cool these days, don't you know? The door to the classroom opened, and Miyama-san stuck her head in. Ano, you in here? Oh, it's Nena. I'm here. What's up? Hide me for a bit, would you? I'm in a bit of a pinch. What happened? Umi's after me. Ichiki-san is? After Miyama-san? She's so annoying. I can't get any sleep. Can I rest a little in here? Sure. Use this seat here. Oh no, that's my seat. Oh, it's fine. Well, I don't mind, but... Sorry, well, good night then. Really, she's just like gonna pass out? Maybe her and Yoka should have a discussion about not being able to stay awake. Though Yoka only has a problem in the morning, I guess. Which seems a little more healthy and normal than Nena's narcolepsy. Oh, it's fine. Don't worry about it. Umi's just... Miyama-san muttered quietly. Personally, I wish she'd paid a little more attention to Sasa. I was a little worried Ano might hear us, but she seemed to be rooting through her bag for something. So I've been trying to excuse myself a little more often. I see. On that rainy day in June when we tried to get Ichiki-san and Futano-san to go home together, that was when I'd realized that Miyama-san was aware of Futano-san's feelings too. She told me herself. That's probably why she's telling me this now. I don't know why, but Umi's suddenly really worked up about the three of us being together. She's been chasing me around. 'Cause of that, I can't get any sleep. With a little sigh, Miyama-san slumped down into the desk. It really looked like she was at her wit's end like that. Well, she was using my chair, but that wasn't a big deal. The bell signaling a campus-wide announcement rang as I considered my loss. Paging a student? Huh? Is this Ichiki-san's voice? Miyama Nena-san of second year Class B. Miyama Nena-san of second year Class B. Please come to the broadcasting room immediately. One more time. Miyama Nena-san of second year Class B. Miyama Nena-san of second year Class B. Ugh, she's using the broadcasting system now? Dude, there's no way you would have gotten away with that when at my high school. You would have, been suspended if you tried to give announcements when you weren't supposed to. I was in agreement with Miyama-san. She's even using the broadcasting system to call her. Miyama-san, what are you going to do? This must mean she's pretty serious, huh? She'll probably find me hiding here. Guess I have no choice but to run. I see. Wow, Nena, you're like a wanted criminal. What do you do? I didn't do anything other than skipping club activities. Actually, maybe she deserved being paged like that then. Well, sorry to have bothered you. Good luck. Miyama-san said, tottering out of the classroom. Nena's got it rough too, huh? Yeah. Are those three going to be okay? Yeah, I'm wondering too. It's curious that Umi is so insistent to see Nena. I wonder why. And I wonder what's going through her head, considering we kind of know what she thought of Sasa's confession, but we really don't know what she thinks about it completely. I hope we get to see some of the story from Umi's perspective. That would actually be really cool. Okay, I think we have time to do one more day. So, I'm excited. I don't want to stop. Stuff's just getting good. For the last week or so, Sachi-san and Megumi have been taking turns checking on how Aihara-senpai and Maki-san are doing. Their observations revealed a few things. It seems something definitely happened between them. Sachi-san had said that they'd stopped going to their hideout around the end of June, and they've apparently yet to go there once during July. Despite that, they're still working every day after school, doing the tasks that find their way to Aihara-senpai. But from what Sachi-san and Megumi have seen, they've been acting distant. Their conversations have lost the cheer they used to have. Maki-san in particular has gotten much quieter, according to them. Aihara-senpai isn't really the type to chat while she works, so they've been carrying on in silence. Though Maki-san's still doing her best to help Aihara-senpai with her work, that hasn't changed. They realized one other thing, too. Even more work than usual is being left to Aihara-senpai lately. I also see the two of them a lot when I walk around the school. They're always occupied with one matter or another. They do seem to be busier lately, but they're doing chores that are clearly just busy work, like taking out the trash from classrooms or collecting homework to be turned in to teachers. This must mean they're not just doing stuff for the beautification committee, though Aihara-senpai's always taken on that sort of work too, I think. It's been a while since Maki-san started helping her. She seems to be getting better and better at it. They're able to get more work done now, and in turn more work is coming to them. It's a vicious cycle, I guess. That hasn't stopped them from taking and completing their requests, though. Megumi had said it was actually a little scary since they do the work so quietly. I don't think they're avoiding their hideout just because they're busier now. It's like they're avoiding being alone together there. Neither of them suggests taking a break, Sachi-san had said. I don't think Maki-san's feelings for Aihara-senpai have changed. And I don't think Aihara-senpai hates Maki-san or wants the situation to stay like this either. But something must have happened, something that created this distance between the two of them. I read Miki-chan's heart a little, actually. She's hesitating about something. It came through very clearly that she isn't sure what to do. And somewhere deeper she is feeling betrayed by Maki-chan, that Maki-chan hasn't understood her feelings. Despite this, she seems to be hoping for something from Maki-chan. All those aspects are entwined together. So she doesn't know what to do right now. She's just wrapped up in her work. Yes, work is always a good escape from your emotions. Not, but, you know, it's relatable. Sympathetic position to be in. I've been there. There's one more piece of information I've gotten from watching Aihara-senpai and Maki-san. It was something I happened to overhear near a third-year classroom when I was looking for the two of them. What? No, this stuff is so boring. Let's get Aihara to do it, like always. She'll be happy to. Those words. I hadn't intended to hear them, but the moment I did, I felt a stab of pain in my heart. So Yuna has like a weird connection to Aihara. And I think it's really telling because earlier we had this whole conversation between Yuna and Sachi where Sachi sensed that Yuna was a bit jealous of Aihara. Now, at first, I didn't know what to think of it. A bit later on down the line, I thought maybe Yuna's jealous of Aihara because she has an underclassman pining after her, and Yuna kind of wants Hina to pine after her. But now I'm wondering if it's something deeper. And considering Yuna's apparently shed an honor student persona, and Aihara-senpai seems to definitely have that honor student persona, I wonder what they're setting up here with Yuna. They're setting up something, and I want to know I want to know. Aihara-senpai, when I found her in an inner building classroom after school. Huh? Aihara-senpai's alone today. Megumi told me that Maki-san had gone home early. It's not clear why. Did she have something else to take care of? Senpai was in the middle of some work she'd gotten from someone, like always. She has piles of printouts stacked up on a desk and seems to be taking one sheet from each pile and stapling them together. I assume a teacher asked her to do this. Satake-sensei, the social studies teacher, asked her. They're handouts for class. Oh, Sachi-san's here. The information is helpful, though, since it seems like Aihara-senpai was surprised I suddenly called out to her like that. Well... Oh, my name is Tomi. I'm a second year. Satake-sensei asked me to help you out. Is that right? It's alright, though. I'll be done with this in no time. It really doesn't look like that to me. Oh, don't worry about it. I wasn't doing anything. It'll be quicker if we do it together. Really? In that case, could you help me for a bit? Of course. From what I could tell, she was assembling 10 sheets in order and stapling them. Nothing complicated. I imagined the task in my head and asked myself if there was a way to do it more efficiently. Should we start by putting them all together first? Yeah, that sounds good. Then let's stack them in order on the desks. Right. I was confident nobody would be using the classroom, so we spread the papers over every desk we needed. This is for a first-year class, isn't it? Seems like it. Aihara-senpai's a third year. I'm a second year. We were both putting together printouts for a class that had nothing to do with us. I picked up sheets from the stacks we had lined up and put them together and stacked them, alternating vertical and horizontal, so they wouldn't get mixed together. We silently went down the row of papers on the desks. How many staplers do you have? Huh? Oh, only the one. Then want to start stapling them, senpai? I can finish the rest of the stacks. Sure. We returned to silence, only the sound of Aihara-senpai's stapler snapping through the quiet. But we were able to work faster for all the chatting we weren't doing. The pile of completed bundles grew higher and higher. There's division of labor at work. There might have been 3 whole classes worth. It looked like more than 100 handouts in all. It didn't even take an hour. We worked, barely speaking, until the printouts were done. This is all of them. Yep, looks like it. There were a few pages left over, but I guess it's just because there were uneven amounts of them printed. Aihara-senpai thanked me as she collected the leftovers. Thank you, it was Tomi-san, right? That went pretty quickly. No problem. This would have been a lot of work to do on your own, though. You might be right. I appreciate the help. Come to think of it, you've helped me once before, right, Tomi-san? Yes. It was last year, and you were helping me, Aihara-senpai. Was I? You were very efficient today, though, Tomi-san. That's why I remembered. Is that so? Honestly, I was surprised Aihara-senpai remembered that time, as well as me, too. We didn't talk much back then, either. And I'm not a famous person like senpai or anything. I remembered you too, senpai. You were a lot of help back then, and you're quite famous, Aihara-senpai. Oh, you think so? Yes, you're always doing stuff like this after school, right? I see you around the campus a lot. Is that right? I'm a little embarrassed, Aihara-senpai said, smiling. It was a bit of a bitter smile, and seeing it seemed to prick and stab into my heart for some reason. Oh man. This is... So I'm not sure what my thoughts are on this, but I will say this. I'm really excited to see what they're setting up for Yuna, because we're clearly poking into something that happened in her past, and I'm really excited if it's what I think it is. But I'm not sure right now. More evidence is needed. We just need to bring these to Satake-sensei, right? I'll take them over. I wanted to get away from Senpai as soon as I could. Oh, it's too much to carry on your own. It was a lot of work getting it all here. I'll help you. But I felt like I was going to say something if I stayed. Like I would have to say something. This isn't something you should have to do, is it, Aihara-senpai? Huh? Even if I was surprised by the words coming from my mouth, and... So I'm standing by my statement that I've made in the previous videos. I think Yuna suffers from some real bad codependency issues. And that's why Aihara-senpai is really bothering her, because Aihara-senpai can't say no, and she takes on all these tasks, and she always helps other people, and it's getting to Yuna. These are for a first year class, right? This has nothing to do with you, senpai. I was regretting it somewhere in my head, thinking, I have to hurry and shut my mouth, but... This is just busy work, isn't it? Why? I knew I shouldn't, but... Why do you have to do this, senpai? I couldn't stop myself. I'm sorry, was it too much work helping me? No, not at all. I just want to know. Why do you do all this work for so many people every day, senpai? I understand the work you do for the beautification committee, but you get all this work that has nothing to do with that pushed onto you. Isn't it strange to you? Don't you ask yourself why it's you who has to do all these things? Yeah, because these thoughts right now that Yuna's having and these words she's saying, this is codependency. These are the thoughts you ask yourself when you're codependent, while you're helping everyone else but yourself. But you have this thought process running in your head that's going, why does it have to be me? Why do I have to do things for other people? Why do people push this responsibility on me? And it is a vicious cycle. Interesting. I was not expecting something like this from this game. If that's even where we're headed, which maybe we're not. But to me, it looks like it. It looks like it is from where we're standing. There's things they should be able to ask other people to help with, or just do for themselves. But everyone asks you because you always agree. They rely on you. They push even simple things onto you. Don't you think you're just being used? Okay, now I'm fully convinced this is codependency, and this is what we're getting with Yuna. Which is, in my opinion, really wonderful. Because it's not talked about enough. And yeah, I said it. I hadn't intended to say all that, and I hadn't wanted to either. But I couldn't stop myself once the words started flowing. I couldn't forget the words I'd heard from those girls. Girls whose names and faces I didn't know. Girls pushing work onto senpai as a matter of convenience. Aihara-senpai didn't say anything. She simply made a troubled face, like she was trying to think of what to say. I'm sure senpai understands all this. It's not as if everyone's asking senpai to do work just because they don't want to do it themselves. It's not as if everyone's pushing those tasks onto her. There are people who appreciate the help Senpai gives them and the work she does for them. I'm sure she saved a lot of people from real trouble. But I'm sure there are people taking advantage of her kindness. I think Senpai understands that she's being taken advantage of. That because she accepts everything, people will push unnecessary work onto her. But isn't it hard for her if she understands that? Isn't it painful? Well, that's where the codependency comes in, Yuna. She probably only sees the value in herself dependent on the use. The value she sees in herself is probably dependent on the use she can be to other people. Which is really sad. It makes me sad. The thing is, Senpai's voice was quiet. She sounded almost calm. I know that sort of thing does happen on occasion. She didn't rebuke me. I'm sure I don't want to be of help to people or anything like that. I don't want people to be upset if I turn them down. I don't want people to think of me as cold-hearted or anything. It's just that I don't want to betray people's expectations, I think. I don't necessarily want to be praised by people for helping them. I just don't want them to think badly for me for turning them down. I think that's why I can't say no. Because of this, I feel like I shouldn't say anything to the people who take advantage of me. Aihara-senpai's words pierced my heart, stinging, even though I was the one who'd brought it up in the first place. Something else was bubbling up in me, and I was trying to push it down. This time, it was something I really couldn't say. I couldn't. I don't think what you're saying is wrong, Tomi-san, but I can't help accepting them. I can't turn them down. I think about it sometimes. Not what you said about why I'm the one doing all this, but that I wish someone would understand why I accept these requests. I know it's a selfish thought, but I've wanted someone to ask me why. I don't want them to praise me or tell me that I'm wrong, I want them to ask. I think that sometimes. But I couldn't stop myself. I don't think Aihara-senpai wanted me to say it. I don't think she wanted me to say anything. I knew that, but they won't understand what you're thinking if you don't say anything, and you won't understand what they're thinking either. If you don't say anything, if you don't tell them, nothing will change. I couldn't take it anymore. I didn't want to be there anymore. I didn't want to be speaking to Aihara-senpai anymore. I was fed up with myself, and it hurt. I picked up the stacks of printouts. It was heavy, really heavy, but I gripped my teeth and lifted it. I would handle it somehow. It's not going to be easier if you never say anything. I muttered and left the classroom, trying not to stagger under the weight of the printouts. I left Aihara-senpai there. Yeah, not being able to say no is a huge sign of codependency, and not wanting to be hated, and not betraying people's expectations because people put you on a pedestal. And that was a really cool conversation. I really liked that. That might be one of my favorite conversations and one of my favorite interactions we've had in this whole game. Oh, Yuna-san. I was in the hallway in the inner building in front of the classroom that Yuna-san and Miki-chan had been working in just 10 minutes earlier. Yuna-san had returned after delivering the printouts. She seemed anxious, like I expected. If you're worried about Miki-chan, she left a little bit after you did, Yuna-san. I see. She cleaned everything up, too. Right. Yuna-san glanced in, confirming that the desks they moved were back in their original position, and that the stationery was sorted away. I was surprised that she worried about that sort of thing, that she would come back after leaving the classroom in such a fashion. She truly is a responsible girl. In that fashion, yes. I was listening to Yuna-san's conversation with Miki-chan, a conversation that shed some light on what was in both of their hearts. I saw Yuna-san leave the classroom first, barely able to carry all the papers she was holding, and still trying to move as quickly as possible. Miki-chan, who she left behind, sat in thought for a while, but soon tidied everything up and left for the Hoshikan building. I don't think either of them said everything they wanted to say, and it didn't seem like it had lightened either of their burdens. In fact, Yuna-san's heart seemed to have only grown heavier. After glancing into the classroom, she turned to the window and looked out from it, merely staring outside.
Yuna-san?
I didn't want to bother her, but I stood beside her. I don't think she missed my presence there, but she didn't say anything. She didn't look away from the window. I called her name but received no response, though it didn't seem to be a rejection. What could I do? The best thing would be to come up with something tactful to say. But no words came to mind. Instead, I asked her, what I was thinking. I don't think Yuna-san meant to criticize Miki-chan. I believe that, so I won't scold her. I just hoped that Yuna-san would be able to collect herself somewhat by replying to me.
なんであんなこと言っちゃったのかな。あんなこと先輩に言っても仕方ないのに。そうかもね。でも言わずにいられなかったのね。そうかも。なんだか相原先輩見てたらなんでだろう。
I don't know the answer to that either. I could feel the regret weighing down Yuna's heart. That's the same thing that was in Miki-chan's heart in the classroom after Yuna-san left. There was regret in her heart too, but Miki-chan's had cleared up a little by the time she left the classroom. It had seemed like she realized something during her conversation with Yuna-san. They had both spit out words they hadn't intended to say. When they freed them, it was as if they both ventured into deep places in their hearts. Miki-chan found something there. What about Yuna-san? Do you think you'll find something too?
ミキちゃんの気持ちもね、わかる気がするの。人に悪く思われたくないって、きっと誰だって思ってることよね。そればかり気にして、自分を殺してしまうのは確かに良くないことかもしれないけど、そういう自分の弱さを認めて、それを受け入れて乗り越えることって難しいことじゃないかしら。きっと誰もができることではないんでしょうね。
I think that's true, and I think you understand that too, Yuna-san. But you couldn't stop yourself. Why? Perhaps because there's something similar in you. A weak part of you. Something everyone
ミキ
has.
ちゃん、ユナさんと話して少しは気が楽になったのかも。ユナさんの後ここを出ていくとき、少し晴れ晴れとした顔になっていたわ。どうして？私あんなこと言ったのに。そうね。でもユナさんの言葉にミキちゃん、ちゃんと自分の言葉で答えていたわ。そうすることで何か整理がついたのかもしれないわね。そうなのかな。
吐き出すことですっきりすることもあるのよ。ユナさんだってきっとそう。
私も？
ええ、言いたくても言えないから心に溜まっていくのでしょ。心が重くなっていくんでしょ。それを吐き出すだけで少しは楽になるかもしれないわね。ねえ、私でよかったら聞いてあげましょうか。もちろん誰にも言わないわ。めぐみにも。私は幽霊だから他の誰にも話せないしね。でも聞くだけはできる。それでユナさんの心が少しでも軽くなるなら聞かせてくれる？もちろん無理にとは言わないわ。言いたくなったらでいいの。聞いてほしくなったらで。
I always knew that there was something caught in your heart, that it might have been the reason you ate lunch alone on the roof, that it might have been the reason you were so unenthusiastic about helping us that first time we asked. I wonder if there's really some other Yuna-san hiding in there. I see glimpses of her sometimes, but then she's pushed back down. The real you is too scared to show herself. I understand that feeling very well, because revealing your true self is frightening.
ありがとう、サチさん。でも今はいいです。
そう。
It's difficult.
でも言いたくなったらお願いします。
そう。
Yuna-san is strong, just as I thought. She continued staring outside, but now looked a little more steady. For better or worse, that something was again being pushed deep down into her heart. It seemed like the pain she'd been feeling when talking to Miki-san had disappeared, replaced by acceptance.
ちょっと残念ね。でもユナさんらしいわ。
らしいですか？
Yeah, it is very Yuna-like.
ええ、しっかりしてるわねってこと。
そんなことないです。話すことはないですけど、ずいぶん楽になったかな。サチさんのおかげで。
あら、そう？
ええ、やっぱりサチさん大人っぽいっていうのかな。落ち着いていて安心できる感じだから、ちょっと話しただけで私も落ち着けた感じ。時々さすがだなって思う。
さすがね。
I'm a little happy to learn that Yuna-san thinks of me that way. I'm happy, but...
それじゃあ私今日はもう帰ります。
そう、わかったわ。気をつけて帰ってね。
はい、それじゃあまた明日。
ええ、また明日。
After giving me a little bow of her head, Yuna-san walked off toward the Hoshikan building. I saw her off, and when I couldn't see her
大人っ
anymore,
ぽくて落ち着いて安心できる感じか。立派に見られているんだな、私。本当は未練がましく臆病で嘘ばっかりの幽霊なのにね。
oh no, back to the whole lies thing. Okay, sorry I went over an hour. We went over a little bit of an hour on that one, but I really didn't want to end at the switch to Sachi's perspective, because I thought it would be hard to break, because we had like that really interesting conversation between Aihara and Yuna, and I wanted the aftermath to be in the same video. But thank you as always for watching, and I will talk to you on the next one. See you guys. Take care.